Hai Sobat Emporio, selamat datang di channel Emporio Architect. Apa kabar nih teman-teman hari ini? Semoga selalu sehat, selalu berbahagia, dan penuh semangat ya. Well, hari ini saya senang banget karena hari ini Devi nggak sendirian. Karena udah ditemenin sama rekan-rekan dari Emporio Architect. Jadi hari ini ada Pak Arya, kemudian ada Pak Gusuma, dan satu lagi yang spesial kita kedatangan Hannah Sudaria dari San Francisco State University yang kali ini lagi internship di kantor kami loh. Nah, mungkin biar para viewers kita tuh lebih kenal, lebih akrab sama narasumber kita kali ini, boleh kali ya minta perkenalan singkat dari Pak Arya dulu mungkin?
Hai, nama saya Arya, saya kepala kantor untuk Emporio Architect cabang Bali untuk Emporio luar Jabodetabek.
Oke, selanjutnya boleh Pak Gusuma.
Ya. Halo, saya Bagus Kusuma. Saya selaku Kepala Tim Arsitek dan Senior Arsitek di Emporio.
And for the last one, ada satu yang spesial. Hi Hannah, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Hannah Sudaria. I'm from San Francisco, California. I'm 24 years old, and I went to San Francisco State University and California State University, Florence, Italia.
Oke, thank you Hannah. Jadi Sobat Emporio, spesial nih hari ini seperti yang udah dilihat di thumbnail kita. Jadi kita akan chit-chat, kita akan diskusi singkat mungkin mengenai project farmhouse. Nah, karena belakangan, jadi seperti yang teman-teman internal Emporio tahu, kita cukup banyak kedatangan klien-klien yang meminta request style baru, terutama yang gaya American klasik, dan salah satunya adalah farmhouse. Jadi berhubung memang karena Hannah sendiri di Amerika, kemudian sempat tinggal di hunian Bergaya farmhouse, kita akan minta Doi ini buat cerita-cerita mengenai mungkin sejarahnya, kemudian perkembangan arsitektur farmhouse, dan juga apa sih ciri khas satu yang spesial dari farmhouse itu. Dan mungkin sekarang I think it's your turn again to presenting more about the collaboration design project with us. So time is yours, Hannah.
Hello, I'm Hannah Sudaria. I'm 24 years old. I'm from San Francisco, California. This is just some more visuals, representation of where I went to school. This is where I lived. I have my degree in Bachelor's of Science in Interior Design and Architecture, and I also have an associate's degree in Women's and Gender Studies. And I also have an associate's degree that I got in CSU Florence, Italy, in art history, and I studied a little bit of Italian architecture when I was there. And this is the design with my concept and Emporio's. I think that this is very cohesive with what Emporio is wanting. So here is the exterior of the modern farmhouse. And you can see the stone on the garage and the front entry. Like I was saying, American residential style, we love to have a front porch. We don't necessarily like use it, but maybe it's for aesthetics. And in the garage, we love to have a huge garage to fit at least 2 cars. And always next to the garage, we call it a mudroom. So right here would be the mudroom. It's basically where you get into the garage, you exit out of the car, and you walk into another space to put your groceries. You take off your coat, you take off your shoes, and right next to the mudroom, usually it has to be the dining room or the kitchen, usually more kitchen. And in this mudroom, this is, besides it being a coat closet, also is where you wash and dry your clothes. So in America, we also have dryers, so we dry our clothes in that area too. So that would be the exterior. You could see a little bit of the backyard here, and usually in American culture, the backyard is hidden, it's behind the home. But it is cohesive with Emporio's style, the way that it's an L-shaped, and it's off to the side. Again, here's another picture. Here you have the shiplap in white, and also in the roofing, because like I said, sometimes you never know where this house could be placed, and maybe the climate could be snowing. So this is also to protect the roofing, to protect the home from the climate. I also think it was a good idea to put stone where the garage is, because we also have tornadoes, we have massive earthquakes, not sure about tsunamis, but this would probably be the safe space of where you would want to protect yourself. This would be the backyard. You have the conversation pit, the pool, and you have a barbecued area, which in translation in Indonesian culture, Asian culture, would be the wet kitchen, but in American culture, this is where you have your barbecuing, your conversations, maybe you have a bar, and there absolutely needs to be a fireplace. We have an obsession with fireplaces, and I think it's really because it gets really cold at nighttime. And so during this time, this is where you also like drink alcohol and eat s'mores, which is like a dessert. But it's very popular among American culture to, if you're gonna have a pool, then you have to have a barbecue place to barbecue your meats and vegetables. And here is another profile. And I have the conversation pit with the fire and the gorgeous pool. And inside you can see the master bedroom and kitchen. Here's the kitchen. I wanted to make sure that it was resembling some kind of European-esque farmhouse. We also really love to, if you have the money to afford it, to hide your fridge. So we like to put cabinets covering the fridge. And if you do have more money, then we also are obsessed with drinking wine. We have a huge wine culture. We have really good wine, especially where I'm from in California. So you have a wine bar. And let's see. Yeah, I feel like that's it. Oh, yeah, and then there's marble courts for the kitchen island. Like I was talking about homes being open floor plan, we also really appreciate having a kitchen island, which is always near the fridge and the oven or the stovetop. And usually if there isn't, a lot of Americans don't, they really want the kitchen island because we use that space to have our morning breakfast or morning coffee. It's just a very casual place to eat, talk, drink, and have a lot of cooking space when you're cooking. And here's the dining room, a formal dining room. You have an informal dining room and a formal dining room. So this would be your formal dining room. Your informal dining room would probably be where the kitchen island is. Again, you can assume a formal dining room is where you have, you know, famous American holidays like Christmas, you know, Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve, etc. And then here is a formal living room and an informal living room. So here, I know that in Indonesian culture, you guys call it the living room that you put by the front door for the guests that you don't like, the guests that you like, the acquaintance room. What do you call that?
Oh yeah, ruang tamu.
Guest room. We call it this guest room. The formal lounge for the guests, we call guest room.
Okay.
And the informal.
Okay, so you call it guest room.
Yeah.
We call it informal, formal living room. Yes. Going back to a traditional American layout, even the guest room is always on the first floor by the front door. And I know that here in Indonesia, you put the master bedroom, the parents' room, on the ground floor. Usually in American culture, it's on the top floor, furthest away from everybody. And here is the master bedroom. Again, I wanted to make sure that there was wall paneling because Americans really like wall paneling, and has the same architectural moldings as they do in Europe, etc. The bathroom, you have the marble quartz that is cohesive with the kitchen, so it has really good flow into the bathroom. We also love to have in his and her sink, or hers and her sink, or his and his sink, etc., etc. And going back to even with closet spaces, women or people in general, we just have so much stuff because we are very materialistic, and the bigger, the better. And so when there's a closet space, we love to have a walk-in closet. And mostly the wife takes up the entire closet.
Well, okay, thank you, Hannah, for your presentation about our collaboration project between Emporio Architect and you. It's such a pretty design we have here. Jadi tadi udah kita lihat bahwa hasil projectnya walaupun namanya farmhouse, ternyata bisa dapat kesan yang megah ya Pak ya. Bisa dapat kesan yang mewah dan juga kesan homey-nya tuh dapat banget. Terutama karena penggunaan material alami seperti itu. Tapi sebelum saya closing nih Pak, ada yang saya cukup menggelitik nih. Pengen saya tanya juga, mungkin boleh Pak Arya atau Pak Gusuma silakan menjawab. Karena namanya farmhouse, kita adaptasi tentu dari Amerika. Kemudian kita bawa ke Indonesia. Apakah cocok atau aman kita implementasikan di negara kita? Kemudian terutama nih masalahnya yaitu adalah material-materialnya. Kira-kira bisa nggak sih kita dapat material yang sama di sini? Atau apa sih solusi yang bisa teman-teman dari Emporio berikan?
Jadi kita memang spiritnya adalah membuat suatu pure American house ya. Cuma tidak pure banget materialnya kita gunakan sepenuhnya, karena kita sudah tahu sekarang sudah ada perkembangan banyak di material bangunan. Jadi seperti yang dilihat tadi, itu ada elemen utama dari rumah adalah kayu ya, shiplap. Itu di fasad luarnya. Itu tetap kita pertahankan dengan adanya tambahan dinding dalam menggunakan material batu bata. Jadi itu untuk menjaga kekuatan bangunan supaya pas juga dengan kondisi alam saat ini. Kemudian untuk batu-batu alam yang didapatkan dari Amerika, itu memang kita carikan memang yang senada ya, atau yang memang tone warnanya dapat. Jadi batu alam lokal pun tidak kalah tampilannya dan looks-nya sama atau mirip dengan fasad tersebut seperti itu. Jadi kira-kira seperti itu trik kita untuk mengadaptasi atau tetap menjaga spirit bangunannya tetap tampil pure American dengan update tambahan di material bangunan.
Oke, layoutnya gimana Pak Gusma? Layoutnya kita tetap menggunakan yang Amerika atau gimana? Untuk
komposisi ruang dan layout kita tetap menjaga flow dari ruang dari Amerika, di mana tadi disampaikan bahwa di Amerika itu dining room berada di depan. Kemudian karena di sana memang lebih banyak jamuan makan untuk Thanksgiving, untuk Natal dan perayaan lainnya. Jadi itu tetap kita tempatkan di depan. Kemudian untuk living roomnya tadi disampaikan itu ada informal dan formal living room. Itu kalau dibahasakan di negara kita itu menjadi ruang tamu ya, atau guest room. Jadi formal living room di depan, di sebelah foyer. Jadi baru masuk ke depan itu ada foyer, ke kirinya itu ada formal living room atau guest room. Ke kanan itu ada nanti dining room untuk tamu atau jamuan tamu. Kemudian di dalamnya nanti kita akan buatkan itu ada informal living room untuk family. Jadi itu tetap kita jaga dan kita buatkan komposisinya persis dengan yang Hana sampaikan dari pengalaman dia selama hidup dan berkembang di Amerika seperti itu. Kemudian untuk bedroomnya kita memang kombinasikan, di mana di Amerika biasanya ditempatkan di atas, mungkin kita bisa juga kasih opsi untuk di bawah. Jadi supaya dapat juga mendapatkan view the flow dari pool ya. Jadi poolnya dibuat di tengah sebagai communal space. Bedroomnya dapat view ke pool, living room juga dapat view ke pool. Jadi seperti itu kita coba kolaborasikan dari yang pure American menjadi yang pure with modern material in Amerika, seperti itu.
Well, Hannah, now can you please tell us more about the American architecture, especially for the farmhouse style, and then the evolution of the farmhouse style, and also please the key element of this architecture.
This is my website. I linked it for y'all. You can see, if you click on more, you can see some of my designs or conceptual designs, etc. Just click on this link. All right, so when Mr. Guswade asked me to explain American residential architecture, there's kind of a lot to talk about because we have so many different types of architectural styles, and I kind of broke it up by date and all in order, and I put the names and a little bit of an analysis as well of, you know, what kind of characteristics each home possess, and another more. And I want to say that these are some of the most popular architectural styles in residential homes. I'm here from California. I'm from this little area right here. And we have kind of like a lot of Mediterranean Spanish style homes. So this is kind of a more visual representation of all the architectural homes that are around the 50 states of the United States. So we have Victorian, colonial, farmhouse, Cape Cod cottage, English cottage, Romanesque revival, country, arts and crafts, Spanish, Tuscan, McMansion, Mediterranean, Haitian, Georgian, barn, Art Deco, Brutalist, log cabin, chateau, Italian, house, ranch, Tudor, Baroque. There's so many more. There's more beyond that. But I want to say that the most major architectural styles that American home possesses are colonial revival, which is this one. You have a ranch style, which is over here. Craftsman and bungalow over here. And then you have Victorian, which is very popular in San Francisco, where I am from, and mid-century modern. So these are kind of the most homes that are prevalent all around north, south, east of United States. Okay. And we have types of houses. We have single family homes, we have condominiums, apartments, townhomes, etc. So when I think of, and most Americans think of, residential homes, it's suburbia. This is what suburbia looks like. It's very copy and paste. It's not really that pretty. You can see that we have a huge backyard, a front yard too. We have a garage to put our car, but most of us use that space and we leave our cars outside. So I also thought it would be really helpful if you were to see kind of the yearly salary and what kind of these American homes live in. And so this would be a good representation of lower class suburbs. And this is, I converted the dollars into rupiah, and this would be their salary, 800 million. There's upper lower class, which is either, you know, apartments or suburbia, uglier version of suburbia, which is like mission style homes. And that would be their yearly salary. This would be middle class. It could be maybe more nicer suburban style homes. And then upper middle class, we have, there's so many styles that you can afford at this rate. And it also depends on the location too. And then this would just be multimillionaire, billionaire, rich class, 5 billion rupiah to infinity. This is where homes start turning into compounds. This is where, you know, people want to have their whole families living together. Or you could be so rich that you don't have your own store, you have your own, it's just a huge compound. For the floor layout, most American homes do not follow feng shui. It really just depends on what kind of style the house is. And a lot of again, going back to the 5 main types of houses that possess all throughout the United States, it usually comes from most European styles and materials. Instead of functioning on feng shui, we mostly build on site orientation, climate, aesthetics, functionality, and building codes. Because, you know, there's some parts of the climate where it snows, and there's some where it rains a lot, or there's some where it doesn't. It has perfect weather. It really just depends. There are some cases where feng shui is integrated into American homes, you know, like having a foyer, which is, you know, the main entrance, the room layout to help good energy flow. I'm sure you all know that. Elemental balance, we try to incorporate wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So that would be how Americans have their floor layout. Going back to your question on modern farmhouse interior, some of the key elements that I put are having organic style, European-esque style, again, modern farmhouse, neutral color scheme, or having organic, modern, country modern, wall paneling, wall molding, shiplap, which is just basically wood, west coastal Mediterranean. Some other elements include stone gate, marble, wood flooring, and HPL wood. So this is history of modern farmhouses. I think the origins are stated from the 18th and 19th centuries. Constructed with local materials, with wood, stone, featured simple, sturdy designs that met demands of agriculture life. Key elements included large French porches, pitched roofs, open layouts, and to allow airflow in hot summers. As urbanization increased, people began to romanticize rural lifestyle, and the farmhouse style evolved. The modern farmhouse emerged, blended traditional elements with contemporary design. This style typically features clean lines, neutral color palettes, large windows, open concept living spaces, while still incorporating rustic touches like exposed beams, wood accents, and metal finishes. I also translated this for you in Indonesian. Why do Americans love this farmhouse style, and why I specifically chose just this one farmhouse style to represent American architecture as a whole was just because there was a nostalgia and comfort. It brought people wanted to leave the highly dense populated urban areas into more of a simple life. And it was also connected with family traditions. It brought warmth and coziness. It's a blend of old and new. Americans, we all have an obsession with Europe, and I think it's just because we migrated from Europe. And so that just makes us feel more at home when it looks European. It also is versatile, it's adaptable, you could see a modern farmhouse all throughout the United States. The United States is so huge, and there's way more suburban areas than there are city areas. It's also just trendiness. It's more trendy, more people want houses looking like this. And like I said, a lot of people are wanting to leave urban city centers to go into this more rural farm life and just practice homey, but still being in a modern. It also really helped with families or having multiple families living with you. Also just because it was open layout. We are obsessed with having an open floor plan. And so that's why I made sure I incorporated having an open floor plan with this design. And here's my translation in Indonesian. And here, the next few slides are gonna just be visual representation of an inspiration board I created of how I wanted it to look. So this would be the exterior and the front yard, the foyer, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, bathrooms, the stairs, bedrooms, backyard, and of course, it's not Indonesian inspired if it doesn't have a conversation pit, or I guess you guys call it sunken sofa.
Okay, thank you Hannah for your introduction about the American resident, especially for the farmhouse. You can sit down now and we will move on to Mr. Arya. Jadi Pak Arya, jadi tadi kita udah dengar sejarah singkat mungkin mengenai farmhouse, terus juga ciri-ciri khasnya seperti apa. Sekarang mungkin kita akan bahas sedikit Pak mengenai project kolaborasi kita, Emporio Architect dengan Hana sendiri. Secara general mungkin bisa diceritakan nih Pak Arya.
Oke, sebenarnya kolaborasi ini itu berawal dari klien kita. Jadi klien kita ini cukup banyak tertarik dengan style American. Ya, farmhouse ini. Nah, jadi dari banyaknya klien yang masuk, nah terbesit ide. Jadi gimana kalau kita kolaborasi nih agar desain dari farmhouse itu sendiri itu lebih menarik juga. Jadi ya dari itulah ide yang muncul. Jadi untuk kolaborasi ini.
Ya, dari saya tambahnya sedikit saja. Ini sebetulnya kita merasa beruntung ya mendapatkan langsung narasumber dari Amerika yang memang lahir, hidup, dan berkembang di farmhouse itu. Jadi kita berusaha menggali banyak informasi dari beliau, bagaimana bangunan ini ada dari awalnya, kemudian tipologi seperti apa, dan kita berusaha berkolaborasi mendevelop ide awal itu menjadi sebuah desain yang kita harapkan bisa menjawab dari keinginan masyarakat kita untuk mendapatkan desain seperti farmhouse. Kalau kita lihat ini sebenarnya kita memang membuat desain yang pure American. Jadi kita tidak ada perubahan, tidak ada penyesuaian. Jadi kita gunakan sepenuhnya dari komposisi ruang, di mana kalau nanti Hana bisa menjelaskan lebih detail lagi adanya perbedaan antara ruang makan di depan dengan posisi ruang tamu yang agak ke dalam. Kemudian untuk service roomnya juga kita pisahkan. Jadi menjadi suatu zona yang tersendiri untuk menservis dari semua fungsi bangunan. Mungkin nanti Ana bisa menjelaskan lebih detail seperti apa desain yang kita sudah collaborate, kemudian bagaimana hasil luarnya, dan seperti apa wujud yang kita hasilkan dari kerjasama dari Hana sendiri. Ya.
Oke, tapi sebelum kita masuk ke desain Pak Gusuma, saya mau tahu dulu nih, project kali ini ukuran lahannya berapa, terus berapa persen yang bisa kita bangun, ukuran luas bangunannya tuh berapa, kayak gimana, gambaran singkat aja.
Untuk project yang kita kolaborasikan ini itu ukuran lahannya itu kalau tidak salah di sekitar 25 kali 50 meter atau bisa dibilang sekitar 1250 meter persegi. Nah, jadi dari lahannya itu ada batasan memang untuk pembangunannya itu istilahnya itu kayak KDB. Jadi KDB itu sekitar 60% atau sekitar 750 meter persegi untuk per lantainya yang boleh dibangun.
Oke, jadi sebenarnya desain kolaborasi ini sudah sangat layak sekali untuk kita implementasikan di Indonesia ya Pak ya. Oke, terima kasih banyak untuk Pak Arya, Pak Gusuma, and thank you so much for Hana because you have been share a lot with us about farmhouse today. Dan gak lupa nih, terima kasih juga untuk Sobat Emporio yang sudah menonton video ini sampai selesai. Semoga bermanfaat untuk teman-teman semuanya, dan jangan lupa, siapa tahu di antara Sobat Emporio ada yang tertarik pengen bikin desain American house atau farmhouse spesialisnya, bisa langsung hubungi kami di Emporio Architect, dan sampai jumpa di video selanjutnya.